certificates to them because we feel that this was a great occasion when they won the state championship, and they came in third place in Nashville, Tennessee for the national tournament. After 1967, they didn't play in any more national tournaments. So without further ado, I'm going to present the awards.
Kind of late to practice, Alvin. We just want to take this time to award Alvin Bell with the certificate. This is from the community, Alvin. There's no greater honor than an honor that's coming to a community. I know sometimes it seems a late coming, but we just want to tell you thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Stay there. Just go ahead and present it. He doesn't have to go.
Albert Crum. Albert had to leave, but I just want everybody to keep Albert in his prayers. There have been some challenges, physical challenges with him, but as he did come out here to be a part of this honor. So I want all to make sure that when you get an opportunity and you're saying your prayers, make sure you add Albert, because as we used to have, we were part of a community. So this is to Albert Crum. Thank you. Timothy Fleming. Evidently, Tim, I didn't see him earlier. He would have been over here, but I just want to say here's an honor also to Tim, who was a part of that team. And this is to Tim. And Tim, once you get an opportunity to see the DVD, we just want to tell you thank you for all that you've done and all that you've given to this community. Well, I know Johnny Frazier is here. Big man. Alvin Frazier. Well, big man. Big man. I'm saying, where's Johnny Frazier? Johnny is not here, but Johnny is his brother. Well, we used to call, okay, he wasn't, okay, Johnny. Well, Alvin, big man. Okay.
We don't let the secret out.
We don't let a secret out. Douglas Hampton.
Right here.
Come on, step forward, Doug. Doug, from the community, we just want to take this opportunity to tell you thank you. Thank you for all that you've given and for being a team member. We understand that it was a challenge. It wasn't easy. Many times, people who tried out for the team definitely couldn't make it, but you stuck there with it, and Dials just had a selection, and if you had to go through a strenuous process, and Dials ran away a lot because of the strenuous, but you stayed there with it, so we just want to tell you thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Jerome. I don't know if anyone, I tell you, I wish we had video to watch Jerome as a ball handler. Jerome really set standards as far as dribbling a basketball for me. It was love to just watch him handle a basketball. I know when you had a basketball in his hands, you can forget about taking it. So he was definitely a great handler, and I think many of the people who came after him learned from him. So I just want to tell you also again, Jerome, thank you very much. Stephanie Johnson. Well, I know Steph is not here, but I know Steph will be getting this video. And Steph was one who said if the community didn't understand what they had done back then, shame on us. So Steph, I say to you, as our cameras pan this community, we are here to honor what you have done and what you contributed. So Steph, when you get this video and you see all the people that are here to honor you, we just want to tell you thank you. Okay, thank you. Art is being part of a brother team, you and your brother Doug. I guess you must have pushed each other to stay on that team. So I just want to tell both of you, again, Art, thank you very much so. Leon Waller. I don't know how many were sitting in the stands when the ball was loose and Leon would go diving through the stands for balls. But one of the things Leon was, he was all out when he played basketball. I was proud of it when he accepted a Division I scholarship and went to New Orleans. I went out to New Orleans and played basketball. It was proud for me because anytime a Gladiator or anybody of our community did something to strive, I tell you what, it was just part of us. So I just want to tell Leon, thank you very much, Leon.
Alvin, would you come back up here, please? We're going to ask everybody to stay up here until the ceremony is over. At this time, we're going to talk about the most momentous occasion that ever took place at Gibbs High School. And you can find these facts in this article that's to my right. And I've asked Ann Thompson-Taylor to disclose a few of the facts that's in that article. She's going to come forward and do that at this time, and then we're going to pass the certificates to the honorees that's standing waiting so they can get their certificate.
That was rendered to us by the Orlando Sentinel. Josh Robbins, the originator, the thoughtful person and godly heart that wrote this, is here today. Would you stand, please? I'd envision to hail something that should never, ever be forgotten. And anytime you need any articles from us or anything else, don't hesitate. We're always willing to help out, and thank you. As the drops start to fall, there are a few things that need to be remembered. And as Josh so stated at the end of the article, our history is dying, and dying with us. Please, artifacts, trophies, pictures, living history, whatever it is. I'm currently president of the board of directors for the St. Petersburg Museum of History. That same museum that we weren't allowed in, yes, we're allowed in now, and they're dying for our history. They are telling haphazard history. They didn't tell the full story of Manhattan Casino. They need the real story of Jordan Park, how we started out, where we came from. Ronnie and I were next door neighbors, and if one got a beating, the other one got a beating. But this was the family situation. Enough for history, but call me for anything, anytime, and I'd be willing, because we need our history. This game, as small as it was in stature compared to today, was the largest game in history. We played several teams, and I had a letter coming from Bob White, who played against us. He played for St. Pete High, and all he could say is this was the most tremendous team he's ever played against. They were gentle, they were courageous, they were forthcoming, and they were a team. There was no standouts. Everybody was a team, and he praised Coach Dowse for everything that he did to get you there. And I got this, and I want everybody to see it. And he sent a contribution, because he couldn't be here, to make sure we could have a good time. And it's from St. Pete High basketball team, 1965 through 67. The largest crowd ever to see a Florida high school basketball game jammed the Bayfront Center in downtown St. Pete in the late December night 40 years ago. 40 years ago, we knew nothing of the consequences. All we had was heart. We had ability, plenty of ability, plenty of strive. But we were making history as we are today. This is the largest crowd that's ever come out for one of our reunions. Everything we do is a good thing. It was segregation time. In many of the games, as it was portrayed, everyone was hoping we would lose. But we had heart, we had soul, right down to the fact that Crum was offered $60 to throw the game when he had to leave the court to go to the bathroom. $60, the man said, I'll give you, and he did give it to him, and he did accept it, but he didn't throw the game. He bought a pair of jeans, and he said, ha ha on you. We went through, we survived. I won't take time to read it all, as Menson said, but a few points that needed to be mentioned was it was over 5,000 people that jammed the arena, that came to see us, that came to see what we could do, and we did it. And I said we, because then we were a community, and now we're still a community. We may be spread out, but we're still the gut, the soul of the earth. We have what it takes. What we have to do is spread it to the rest of the generations. Coach Dowse retired after 30 years in the school system. and he was at 16th Street when I was there. He and Miss Fagan started in, and all he knew was he was going to make that team great. We didn't make it, the Trojans, but he made sure the Gladiators did. And the Gladiators, to you, to all of us, we love you. Thank you for putting us on the map. And to the rest of the crowd, let's get our history out there. They do, when the Haitians, they do the Jamaicans, they do the Greeks, they do the everybody. Let's do the Black history so that our kids and our kids' kids can know what we did and be proud of our history. Please come up and read and understand what happened 40 years ago to make this so tremendous today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. At this time, we're going to make the presentation of certificates to the players that are here right now. 67, right?
Leon Waller. Evidently, two-time champion here, Leon. But I just appreciate it. Thank you again, Leon. Kenny Robinson was part of this team. Everybody knows it. Kenny moved on. But, you know, he was a trainer. He was a manager. But Kenny went on to coach at Boca Ciega and won state championships there at Boca Ciega. So, again, honors go to Kenny Robinson, who was a Gladiator also, who also coached a championship team. Gladiators don't die, we multiply. Arthur Hampton, evidently another two-time champion. Thank you again, Art. Thomas Daly, he retired. He's in Tennessee right now. We used to call him Tennessee. And evidently, Thomas, I want to say thank you for being part of this team. You will get a video, and video will show all these people are here. The people that love you and cheered for you and watch this team be the great team. They were championship. They won a championship so that we can be champs. So I just want to tell you again, thank you, Tennessee. Harry McLean. Is Harry here? Harry was part of the team. He looked over the team, made sure things were together for the team, and as we traveled, made sure everything, as well for sneakers or whatever, and the team was ready to play. He kept them ready to play. So, Harry, we just want to tell you thank you also. Johnny Dandy. Where's Johnny? I tell you, one of the things I knew about Johnny, I've always loved him, and I hated him sometime too, because Johnny, when I played against him, I hated him. But when I played with him, I loved him because he could really shoot a basketball. And one of the things I've always enjoyed was he had heart. He had a heart for the game, and had a heart for people. So, Johnny, I want to just tell you thank you for being an ambassador for Gibbs High School and for the game. Thank you. Again, Stephanie Johnson. Steph, we're honoring you again to tell you thank you. So, again, there's no greater thing I can say but just tell you thank you from the community. Again, Jerome Hillsman. Jerome, again, watching you play, and I'm sure many of us from Edgar Wilcock, I was talking with Edgar, and I see great friends of mine from Jacob and Martin and guys who watch you play. We couldn't say enough about your game as far as being able to handle the ball. I stood back and watched, and I was amazed earlier. And you know you amazed many people yourself. So I just want to tell you again, thank you for being two-time champ with Gibbs High. Alvin Frazier. Big man. Well, I thank you, big man. Again, I know God has blessed us. God has kept us here and to see you, and you've always been a very kind-hearted person outside of basketball. But when you stepped on the court, you were there with the killer instinct, and I just want to say again, thank you for being part of the team and making all of us proud. Again, thank you. Okay, I'll get it. Jeffrey Woodson. If we can just get a moment of silence again. I don't know how many people remember Jeff. Jeff was tall, very nice, easygoing person. I know one of the things I remember years back, he told me it was going to be a challenge making the team because he was tall and he thought he was too gangly, but he wound up making that team. Jeffrey is going on, and I want to just take a moment of silent prayer for Jeff. Thank you. Shaky, Norman Stevenson. I called Norman several times. I wanted him to be here. People don't realize what we had come through this community. Norman was first team All-America with McGinnis. And, you know, many colleges, UCLA wanted Norman coming from our community. I remember seeing his picture on the St. Pete Times paper, big article, first team All-America from St. Pete Gibbs High School. I remember Norman playing as a younger man out of 16th Street during the summer leagues. And as he got with Edgar, he used to be with Edgar Wilcox, and people don't realize that I was talking with Edgar. He was one of the top players around this city also, and also with Minson. I don't know people really. Minson also was a very tough player, competitive player. We called him Candy Rapper. I don't know where he got that name from, but it was a very tough name, and I watched him play, and he had a heart to play. And when you stepped on the floor, you know you had to come with your A game with these guys. So, Norman, Shaky, you will be getting this video, and we from the community, and you look at the camera is going to pan this audience, and we're going to tell you thank you. Here. Henry is not here, but Henry was another gentleman who was fortunate. I say fortunate to make this team because many people tried and people couldn't make it. But I just want to tell Henry also thank you for being one of the 1967 state champions of Gibbs High School. Lewis Rowe, L.B. Rowe. Evidently, he's not here either, but I was hoping L.B. was here because one of the things I used to talk with L.B., he was about standards. He taught in the school system and worked in the school system, and one of the things he always talked to me about is making sure that not only athletes come away with a basketball in their hand. He wanted to have some education also to go with those things, be able to go back into the community and share with them more than just basketball skills, but educational skills. And they trade with our young people what it means to be a gladiator and what it means to have an education. One of the things people may not realize is his children are a testimony to what he believed. If people knew his children or what they become, he pushed it. And these kids are they're doctors and lawyers, I would assume, or whatever. So whatever he taught his kids, he was trying to teach our kids. And I say our kids because that's what our community used to be. It wasn't your kid and my kid. It belonged to us. We used to have an us attitude. And one of the things we need to do is get back to that us attitude. So Louis Robo, I just want to tell you thank you. And Doug Hampton. Come on, Doug. I wanted to get Doug. I talked with Doug earlier, and I wanted to get him on an interview. And Doug has always been kind of quiet somewhat, and I'm trying to push him to get the interview, but I just told him he's quiet in here. But I know when Doug played basketball and when he was out on the court, he played with all heart and all aggressiveness, and he loved the game because someone played before him, and I can understand what he was bringing to the court. Guys that were playing ahead of him, and also he was here to leave something for other young people who's going to be after him. So, Doug, again, thank you for the things that you've done for this community.
Thank you.
Yes. I tell you, this is getting to me now because I tell you, this is Elbert Crum again, and I wish he had been here because, again, Elbert put a lot in his life. He cared about people, and he cared about Gibbs High School. He wanted to get in and even coach the school at one time. He told me his desires to get and be a coach of Gibbs High because he loved the school and all that it meant to him. So